everyone's eyes lately have been on the police, mostly due to all the drama that's been surrounding them, especially in Ferguson, Missouri, but also in other cases around the country, like Los Angeles. I think there was one somewhere up north, and just so much police brutality. And there's always been police brutality, only now, since cameras have phones and it's a lot easier to take pictures and videos. It's been brought up more because more people are being able to talk about it and actually provide evidence for it happening. Now, one of the reasons I think that there's a lot of police brutality is because two reasons. They have the power. We give them power, and because a lot of times they do get away with it. We allow them to get away with it. And by we, I'm talking about as a society, in case, I don't know, some people, when I say we, think like, oh, this group of people, like 2% don't do that. It's like, I'm talking in general, okay? But going off that whole power, we put trust in our police, to trust that says, I trust you with the decision making, I trust you to protect me, I trust you to make judgments between what is right and wrong, and we also give them lethal weapons. Have you noticed that lately no cops have been using the actual stun weapons that they have, such as like a taser? They go straight to the gun, or they go, shut the fuck up! Or they go straight to going to, in Ferguson, Missouri, tear gas and rubber bullets, and they just use so much violence against other people. And it's half the time these days, it's not even like I said, like a taser. It's all this complete brute force. You can also it's completely easy for cops to get military-like weapons. They're able to get these, they're not tanks, but they're armored vehicles that are used in war, and they're RPG proof and mine proof, and you really don't need that. It just shows how much power they have over us. But what's even more fucked up about the fact that they have so much power and so much control, and they're so violent, is the fact that we have a system that lets them get away with it. We have a system that says, oh, since they're bigger, they must know what they're doing, so they must be right, instead of looking at the actual evidence and saying, hey, this is not okay. In one of my earlier videos, I said that just because something is the norm, or just because someone has more power, doesn't always mean that they're right, and you need to look at both sides of the story. And if there are more sides, you need to look at all sides equally for the same amount of time, not just pick and choose which one you want to look at. It's really just disgusting that people have so much power. And the thing is, this is what I find kind of really hilarious. If you have jury duty, you're interviewed so that you can't be on the jury if you're racist, if you're sexist, if you're anti one certain religion. But especially in Ferguson, Missouri, only 3 of the cops out of the 53 police there are black. There's a serious race issue there, and a lot of people, well, not a lot of people, but now a lot of people are going to say, oh, well, the guy there, I think his name was Michael Brown, if I'm not mistaken. If I am, please let me know. He stole a pack of cigars from a convenience store, but that happened a lot earlier. That happened hours before, and the cops didn't even know that. The cops originally started yelling at him and his friend because they were jaywalking and obstructing traffic. Now, yes, they did slap away. One of them he did try to take away the police's gun, but the police are the ones who fired first. They're the only ones who did fire because the 2 teens involved did not have any guns on them. And even after he surrendered, they continued firing. That's the thing. There is such a thing as capital punishment for a reason. Personally, I don't believe in capital punishment. The capital punishment is supposed to be the government decides, the Supreme Court decides whether or not someone is guilty or not, and if someone is guilty, then they may or may not get capital punishment. You, as a state police, do not have the right to make a decision over someone's life and death, especially over something as stupid as jaywalking or obstructing traffic, I think was the actual initial, crime. Police just have way too much force, and there needs to be regulations on what they can and cannot carry when it comes to weapons, what they can and cannot do. Not only that, however, but we need to change our system to say, hey, you're doing something really, really wrong, and that's not okay, and you're going to be punished for it. Last night, well, technically it was this morning, because I was up till like 5 a.m., like always, I was watching the Young Turks, and they were talking about something else that happened in Ferguson, Missouri. This guy it was raining too hard, and this guy felt that it was dangerous for him to drive on the highway, so he pulled over. Police arrested him for no reason at all, because they thought it was they thought it was someone that they were after, but it turns out it was a completely different guy with a completely different social security number, but they had the same first and last name. And so they brought him to a jail, and he asked for a cot, and then the cops were like, you can't get a cot, sleep on the floor. And then he said something like, that's not okay, or no, I want a cot. And then they started beating him, and then the victim in that case bled on the cops, and then the cops said that that was destroying property because they started beating the crap out of someone, and they were pissed off because what they did to that one person made them bleed, and some of that blood got on their uniform. That is not okay. That is such an arrogant thing to say. And this all happened because the guy was black. It's profiling. This is what I say when I say these people are racist. These people should not be cops. There should be some government intervention with Ferguson, Missouri specifically, but also all other state police, all other people that have that much power, that are able to have that much weapon, that, not much, but like that lethal of weapons. And the thing about what the case I just told you about how the police were pissed off that the guy bled on them, they didn't go away and they didn't face any charges. This is what I mean when I say we need to change the system drastically, because any person in their right mind would think, oh, this is not fair at all. In the court case, the police's lawyer said that they brought forth evidence that was purposely recorded 32 times the normal speed, and they also brought forth the wrong hours. They saved the wrong hours, like on a little harmless mistake. Yeah, no, bullshit. There's this one thing in law, this one rule, I guess you'd call it, where it's like, if I can't provide evidence, then by assumption that must mean it's against me. I feel like they're completely ignoring that there. Yeah, it's not an accident. They purposely did that because the lawyer wants to win. When you go to court, both sides want to win. And it's come to the point where they would do anything now. There's such a lack of respect for people these days, and it's really a shame that people who have authority over us are the people who have some of the least amount of morals, some have some very bad morals, how they profile people, how they think it's okay to use force. In the Ferguson case, they were like, bring it, you animals. Let's not even talk about how racist that is, but the whole bring it. Police are meant to protect and serve. It was a peaceful protest, and they used rubber bullets and gas masks, saying, bring it on. These people didn't have any weapons. These people weren't being violent. They were just saying, this is unfair. We want change. We want change. Peace sells, but no one is buying nowadays, especially when weapons cost so much money, and it's such a great industry and gives people power. This is what I mean when I say power corrupts everyone. Guns are a form of power. Giving people authority, like, even if it isn't that much authority, such as the authority that an officer has, is power. And no matter how much power you have, it corrupts people. It corrupts the people who have that power. It's ridiculous, and there needs to be more regulations, and there needs to be more requirements in order to get power, and there needs to be harsher punishments for those who just completely abuse it. It's ridiculous. There needs to be a change with the police force. So, yeah, that's just my thoughts on everything.